Radio Angelus, 24-hour online radio.
Good afternoon and welcome once again to Lunchtime Catechesis. We have started a series that is a reflection of the theology of the body. And as I told you, if you want to read more about it, you can get the document online or follow Christopher West, who is really a master of the theology of the body. This is my own way of introducing us as Catholics to this great teaching of St. John Paul II. Now, today I want to continue with the topic of maleness and femaleness as we started last week. But I want to read to you a very interesting statement of John Paul II, who says that the body is a sacrament. Now, that's very interesting. I never thought of the body as a sacrament till I met this teaching of St. John Paul II. And I'm sure you never heard in your catechesis that the body is a sacrament. Now, what does he want to say when he says the body is a sacrament? I want to quote directly from him, and then after that, we would look at what it means when he says the body is a sacrament. And so I read, "The sacrament, as a visible sign, is constituted with man inasmuch as he is a body, through his visible masculinity and femininity. The body, in fact, and only the body, is capable of making visible what is invincible, the spiritual and the divine. It has been created to transfer into the visible reality of the world the mystery of the hidden from eternity in God, and this is to be a sign of it." In other words, John Paul is saying, if God is love and God is pure spirit, how do we know and experience the love of God? Because love can only be expressed in a bodily form. We see people show love by hugs, by kisses, by embrace, by touch. In fact, when you go to Songs of Songs, it says that kiss me with the kisses of your lips, embrace me. It talks about even the taste under the palate of the beloved, which is a revelation of the bodily expression of love. Something that unfortunately we seem not to be able to transmit and teach our children. The body indeed is a sacrament because it reveals God's love, and through it people are able to experience God's love. Now, many of our children and our youth are going through challenges, especially handling their sexuality. Who teaches a male through scripture how to be a male? And who teaches a female through scripture how to be a female? Do we take it for granted that as they grow, they will come to appreciate their maleness and their femaleness? Do we feel shy of talking about it because we also think that there is a suspicion about the body and that the body is sinful and not clean? In fact, for many of us, even for couples, I have met some who think that once they engage in the sexual love, in the conjugal act and love making as married couples, which is their right and their gift, they feel like they have dirtied themselves and that they cannot come for communion. This reveals that many of us have some suspicions about the body and about sexuality. And this is the reason why we cannot even sit our children down and teach them what it means to be a male, what it means to experience the bodily changes that they go through. I don't know, maybe we are afraid of teaching them because we ourselves do not know. Now, when a female begins to develop in his body and he has bodily changes in his teens and he begins to have the breast come out and his hips develop, who teaches this child and this girl that what she is experiencing is a gift from God? Who teaches her that the breast that is being developed is meant for a purpose and is a gift from God, who teaches her that the hips that are developing are meant for her so that when she is giving birth, it can expand. Every part of our body, as beautiful as God shaped it, is meant for a purpose. And we ought to teach our children. When a girl has her menstruation for the first time, who teaches her the gift of that menstruation and what it means that God has given her a gift of bearing fruit in her womb. All these are gifts to be taught to our children, but we don't, because we ourselves have suspicions of the human body, and perhaps we couldn't handle it well. We leave our children hoping that they will handle it well. Well, many of them don't, and many of them fall prey, because a young girl who sees a male appreciate her body is swept immediately off her feet because her father has never appreciated her. Her father has never told her how lovely she is, or her mother has never explained why her body is changing as it is. The same for a male. I was told by a very good friend that when he was in the university, he came to understand his maleness by conquering women. And when I say conquering women, I believe we all understand. The number of women he slept with was an affirmation of his maleness. But is this scriptural? This is how, by leaving our youth to discover their own maleness and femaleness, they are thrown apart by the world and what the world presents to them. Today, if you look at our commercials, the body is being sold. The body is not being appreciated as a gift from God. And so even when we are selling cars, we are trying to sell the human body as well. Everything has become sex and not sexuality, which is a gift from God. And so I invite you to have a talk with your 13-year-old about the gift of his maleness and his femaleness. To have a talk about the gift of sexuality and the bodily changes that we all experience as we were growing up. Because if you leave your children without using scripture to show them this gift, they would discover it on their own in the internet. And trust me, you would not want them to go that way. I bless you in the name of God, and I leave you with peace and love. Have a great lunch.
Radio Angelus, 24-hour online radio.